Hey, welcome back. In this video I will be repotting this clump larch. This is basically the time to do it. The buds are starting to become shiny and green, so this is the time to do it. And this is a clump larch which is relatively rare to find, but not but there are some, and there are some magnificent clumps around here in Canada. But this is one that I decided to sell, and the customer asked me to use a slab, so I will use this cement slab that I made. Of course, you can use both sides, the concave side or the convex side. Both would look nice. This gives a negative space. This gives a negative space here that is interesting. However, the client asked me to go more traditional and plant it on the concave side. I will not be using keto or muck or anything like this. I will be using sphagnum moss entirely. So the technique that you will be able to get out of this video is how to build a slab planting without using muck or keto. And the advantage of not using muck or keto is that with sphagnum moss there's a lot more breathability and a lot more aeration for the roots, and so this is a plus. Now, I'm not entirely sure of the state of the roots and how I will find. This slab already has several holes, which are plenty to be able to define the anchoring strategy and use it. But normally on a slab I would just make the holes that I need where I need them, and even if there is a little bit of water retention is not an issue. It's not the case here. Even if it didn't have the holes, there's the way it was built was to prevent accumulation of water. Now this is almost the same size as this, so I will have to do some manicuring on and shaping the edge of the root system to make it look more natural as it comes out. So let's get going. The first thing is to unattach the tree from the pot. Normally, if this was my tree, I would style it before I do the repot, being deciduous, so that there's no potential movement on the roots as I style it after. But the person who's purchasing this tree didn't want me to style it, wants to style it himself. So I will there is no issue on that regard here. So here it is. Let's take a look at the root system. Yeah, it grew a lot. Started to overtake the drainage screen. Alright, drainage screen is off. Let's clean the surface. The soil is still pliable. Doesn't look like there is any need to go deep on the root system, but I still have to remove all the matted roots to be able to fuse the root system with a new surface. And although I am not the person styling this tree, I will do my best to choose objectively the best front for the new slab. When styling a clump, it's just like styling a forest or any other tree. Objective design dictates that we look at the best base, the best line, the best features, and also those that need to be hidden to decide the front and the angle. In terms of angle, this is going to go straight as it is. I'm trying to work in a way that doesn't hide from the camera my actions. Okay. I'm left-handed, so I guess I should be sitting on that side, and using my left hand here would be much easier for me. Alright, this is as much as I cut with this tool. Now with the scissors I'll see the reason to go with the scissors after that other root, after using this sort of blunt cut, is to make sure that you have sharp extremities on the roots so they can grow and not rot. We still have the wires from the last repot, and I would like to see where they are coming. Not sure if I can find them here. Oh, I found one. There's some roots that don't look very nice. We'll cut them. At this stage, cutting one root like this or like this doesn't worry me at all. This is a well-established root system. And next pair of wires are here and here. If we can uncover a little more of an interesting body, this is a good thing. At this moment I'm roughing up the edges so it's easy to combine with the new root substrate. If you do not do this, water will percolate always through the path of least resistance, and that means it will go through the new substrate and not penetrate the root system, so you have the risk of killing your tree even though you're watering it. So it's always important to repot when you're repotting an established root system, to roughen the edges like this to make a combination of the new substrate and the old one smooth. So we got our root system, we got our slab. I feel that it's still too high on the back. Here. All right. I feel that the front that I had before with this, with the plane of the three main trunks somehow going from 11 to 5 like this, perhaps, to you. So it's not one-dimensional, a plane towards the viewer. A little more like this is interesting. The nebari on the other side is not so interesting. There is sort of like an indentation here, so this should be in the back. And now, in terms of the wire tie down strategy, in this case, what we will do is 3 slots. It will be a simple standard strategy with 3 points. I will use number 2 wire here. This is a small tree, so it doesn't matter if I use aluminium. With established root system, there are many ways to attach a wire, attach the tree. You can use a chopstick to make a hole through the established root system, pass 2 wires through it, use a piece of bamboo and attach, and you can do this in 3 points. You always need 3 points of contact for stability. Another thing is that you could stick a bamboo chopstick as a stake and then attach on it and then cut. It all depends where the holes are and what is the shortest line of connection that you can make. I will go here for the idea of 3 holes, and I'm looking here with respect to the front and with respect to where the holes are. There is one here that I will use, so this will go here. There's this one here that will come here. I'll put another chopstick to mark. And the third one here. Another chopstick to mark. Now let me see if I can actually go through with these chopsticks. Yeah, there, and here. So I have the 3 locations marked where my wires will come through, a pair of wires in each position, and they go basically where the holes are. One there, one here, and one there. So I will mark those positions with my chalk, if I can find it. So the points that I will use are this one here. Let me check again. This one here, this one here, and this one here. All right, I have the 3 positions that I will use marked. 1, 2, 3. I'll mark them on the back. Okay, so now I have passed. It's kind of hard to see because of the color. In order to pass the wire through the hole, we need a little trick, and that is to create a harpoon with the wire. I have a longer and a shorter part. I will go with the longer around the shorter on each one. And so my 3 wires now are ready to be plugged, to plug the three through it. I'll use long fiber sphagnum moss to create a bed. The objective of this is to create some aeration as well as maintain some humidity and stabilize the substrate. I'm using here substrate which is 311, 3 parts of Shabazai or diatomaceous earth or Akadama, and 1 part of pumice and 1 part of lava. This is only a bed for where to put the tree. Now comes the hard part. It's important to have these wires long enough that you have space to maneuver up and down without undoing a wire that you just did. And so now I have to be very careful and look where exactly is the position. We'll go first with this one. And if I can see through, it's better. In this case I can, but ideally you just poke here. Let me move this a little bit for now, and there, the first wire is through. You can see it here. Now I will bend it so it cannot get undone. Now the second wire, did I use the wrong wire here? Let me see. Where's the front? Yeah, I used the wrong wire. Let's redo this. Okay. First wire is done. Now the second wire is this one in the back. So let's start with this one in front of the camera. So I'm feeling here where it goes. Here it came through. I'll bend it. So we have 2 wires down in. Now let me turn the pot for the view for you guys to see better. Here we have the last one, and it comes here. Here it comes, fold it. So now let's go back to the front. Let's push the tree down. This tree has a flat bottom, so I didn't need to do any mounting of the substrate, but I will still do, the usual, moving it around a bit. All right. Now to check the front. Okay. As I mentioned, I'll use pieces of bamboo. So it gets, now I can cut this and I can put my bamboo in between the 2 wires. And now I can twist the wire and tighten it. When you use bamboo, it has the what was the outside shell of the bamboo and the soft inner part. So you put the outside shell to the top where the pressure from the wire is coming from. That way it holds stronger. Bonsai being an aesthetic art, if we can, really, we should strive to hide all our tricks, such as the tie-down strategies, and only in extreme cases show them. Here, I didn't think about it, but it would have been good to have maybe a tie-down wire to sort of shape a little more the root system, but I will shape it myself with this to create less of an abrupt change here. However, there is a strong root here that cannot be removed. Okay. Now we'll take a bit of sphagnum moss and a bit of substrate and add to the sides. So the important point is that to use long fiber sphagnum moss, because then as you put it around, it gets stuck all on itself and creates this web or this mesh and holds everything together. And so by controlling the amount of substrate and sphagnum moss that you use, you can shape the contour of your wall, and it will be as strong as keto or muck, but it will allow aeration into the root system. Now the last thing is that if I am not 100% sure that the whole thing is holding up, I can use pieces of wire, and it doesn't matter which one. Right now here I took 17 gauge galvanized steel wire, and we'll make hooks like this, and we put them around to hold the sphagnum moss. And once we put real moss, live moss, or top dressing, which is live moss mixed with shredded dry sphagnum sphagnum moss, and then let it grow. This this solidifies on top, and nothing comes out. I will use top dressing here, that I have some, so I show, but on a planting like this I actually prefer to use live moss entirely, and I put patches of it all around, and it takes hold very easily. And after putting the dry top dressing, we need to spray with water, if there was any water here, to hold it in place. Otherwise, once we do the first watering, it will all go away. And that's it. Let me water it. Hope that the repotting techniques that I showed today were interesting for you, and that you learned something new. And if you found useful and if you stayed this far, please consider subscribing. That helps a lot. And thank you very much. And until the next one, bye bye for now.